It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
About the initial verdict that's passed on Child.
I have investigated his case along many avenues, and I have learned that he once fell into an unknown chasm when he was young.
Yes, correct.
There, by chance, he awakened the all-devouring narwhal.
But what does that got to do with Focalor giving him a guilty verdict?
But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider him the root cause of the disaster. At most, he would have had tangential liability. As for the judgment passed by the oratrice during the trial, whether it was due to that liability by association or Focalor deliberately using him to buy time for us on the assumption that he would be able to hold the creature off, I cannot say.
I think only she could answer that one.
Guess
And she's
Focalor
dead.
had Fontanians in mind the whole time. In the end, it was thanks to her that they finally became real humans. Hang on a second. Paimon suddenly got another question. Back when Fontanians hadn't yet become real humans, were the children they had also transformed Oceanids?
Life has always flowed like water. Do you recall how Fontanians would often come to the Fountain of Lucine to pray for children?
Yeah, Lynette said the fountain is where all the waters in Fontaine converge.
In truth, even those couples did not know that such prayers were no mere custom, but instead a form of ritual. Those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would later descend as new humans in the coming months.
Paimon sorta gets it now. Either way, it seems like this ritual won't be of any further use, but it'll probably live on as a local custom.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Can we skip to that one? The future.
Yeah, about that. Risley said Farina has already left. What's that all about?
Ah, Lady Farina. The people are only aware that her death sentence has not been carried out. She abdicated the post of Hydro Archon and left affairs related to that title to me, before leaving the Opera House. I related Focalor's words to her faithfully and completely. After hearing them, she seemed neither saddened nor comforted. She simply said that she was tired and needed to rest.
And she needs to find time to be her. After 500 years of being somebody else, she needs to get back to what it means to be Farina.
Having said that, she then packed
And
her
a fake
things and moved out
Focalor.
of the Opera House, not unlike how an ordinary person might.
But she's still got a place to stay, right?
You need not worry. I will make arrangements to ensure that she will not want for food, clothing, board, or travel. In truth, I am somewhat happy for her. The wear and tear on her spirit will, of course, take time to heal. But now that she no longer has to play the role of Focalor the Hydro Archon, she can finally lay down her burdens and lead a normal life.
More likely to mortal life, because don't forget, her curse was that she would be immortal only so long as Focalor was alive. Well, Focalor is no longer alive, therefore the curse is no longer in effect, which means she no longer has longevity.
What about you then? What are your plans now that you've regained your full powers as the Hydro Dragon?
He hasn't.
After Focalor passed on,
Gave them
the
away.
Oratrice also ceased to function. This matter will directly affect our trials. After much careful consideration, I've decided to take over its role in our courts. From now on, I shall hear cases and pass verdicts by myself.
I mean, you essentially already did that.
Looks like you're still considering stuff from the perspective of the Udex, huh?
As an elemental dragon, there are indeed many things that I must do. But this power and this duty, in a manner of speaking, you could say that both were granted to me. As such, before I attend to my other responsibilities, I must first and foremost continue to serve Fontaine as its highest judge. The duty of the Hydro Sovereign and the duty of the Udex shall coexist within my person. Additionally, the Hydro Archon's departure has brought about another problem, which is that the Opera House shall no longer produce indemnitium.
That's true. That power was derived from the people's faith in the Hydro Archon, wasn't it? Wait, but the various mechs and machines in the city are all still okay. Where are they getting their energy from?
Solar power, Paimon.
As I am now, I have full command over New Musia, and it can serve as a complete substitute. Another reason why I cannot quite leave Fontaine immediately.
Wow. This ancient dragon's authority stuff is really quite useful, huh?
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Oh, that's right! They say you've given it to the knave as a diplomatic gift or something!
Leaving aside their intentionality, the two Fatui Harbingers have indeed done much for us during this crisis. Their sole remaining goal in Fontaine, at least at this point, would seem to be the Gnosis. The Oratrice has ceased to function, The Hydro Archon's divine throne is now no more, and I do not need the Gnosis' power. As such, it has lost all meaning for Fontaine. If the Fatui have impure designs, then we might as well accede to their request now, and avoid unnecessary conflict.
Honestly, I can't judge him for that. That's fair. He's looking after his people.
What complicated considerations. Paimon thought you were just giving it to them out of gratitude to the knave and as an apology to Child.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. You will soon be heading to Natlan, I presume. I'm afraid that I have little talent as a travel guide, so all I can do is tell you what I know about that land.
It's gonna be more than I already know, so please, what is the land like?
As far as I'm aware, Natlan can be said to be a nation of dragons.
What does that mean?
A nation of dragons? You mean like you?
No, I suspect that I would not find myself welcome there.
Why?
Unlike ancient dragons such as myself, the dragons of Natlan have undergone long years of development and evolution. Large numbers of them have entered a form of coexistence with humanity.
So we're gonna be seeing actual dragons in Natlan? Can we ride one?
Natlan is also the nation of war. War ravages those lands like an
Ugh.
undying flame.
Sounds fun.
There is one other piece of information I got incidentally from my negotiations with the knave that I believe may be useful to you. The harbinger known as the Captain has thrown his hat into the endless ring of war.
Why?
The captain.
El Capitan.
Sounds like a real tough customer. Seriously, everywhere you look, there's a Fatui Harbinger doing their thing.
They need the Gnosis. Of course they're in Natlan.
I suggest that you fully prepare yourself before going to Natlan. In the meantime, Fontaine's doors will always be open to you. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know
That's
it.
it. Do you know anything about my brother? Don't I normally ask people that question? I have no more questions.
Hang on a sec. Paimon's still got a question about the Gnosis. When we spoke to Linny earlier, he mentioned that your attitude towards giving away the Gnosis had clearly changed. We guessed that there might be some reason for it that only you were aware of.
No wonder the House of the Hearth is the Fatui's intelligence division. They are certainly sharp. So regarding this specific issue, I was just getting ready to share something with you.
What is it?
In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface. It went something like this.
Well, we're going to head topside to see what's going on. You hurry over soon as well, all right, Nervalet? Whoa!
What next?
The all-devouring narwhal isn't here, so I'm no longer getting any interference. I can finally catch the scent of your power, what it's made of. It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons, but with something very similar to a god's curse mixed in. It's quite a novel blend. I'm sure I've encountered something like this before. What was it again?
I do not know what you speak of.
She has smelt a dragon sovereign with a curse mixed in. My money's still on the Tsaritsa. It really is.
Of course. How could I forget?
Her bodysuit actually reminds me of, Eula.
You should have the remains of the third descender on your person, yes?
You should have the remains of the third descender. Remains? I have no context for this.
Remains? I've never heard of any such thing.
According to your parlance, I believe it may be called a gnosis.
Well, that much is true. After Focalor's divinity faded, she handed her gnosis to me. But I fear I have never heard of it described in the manner that you just did.
I've been training with my master, the Foul, ever since I was young, and I have never returned to the surface since. So most of the information I possess, I got from him.
I'm sorry, surface? Do you come from the abyss?
It is only natural for those who are greater than humanity to possess a different sort of common sense. Which is why there are so many problems in our attempts to communicate with humans.
I don't think that's the reason, honey.
Regardless, you should probably get rid of objects of misfortune to prevent any disasters from befalling you. To live in itself is a blessing. But once a person dies, the bonds he once had with this world shall all turn to curses.
What do you mean by that?
No need to fret. These are just my personal thoughts. And my reason for no longer wishing to return to the surface.
This third descender you refer to, who are they? And when did they die?
Master never mentioned them to me. Perhaps it just wasn't that important for me to know. If you're interested, though, I could ask him. I'll be sure to pass the answer on to you next time.
There's a next time.
Next time? You believe we will meet again?
I do. Wait. I have a disciple of my own, don't I? He can be the messenger then.
Why did they put an exit there for 2 seconds? Like an exit from a domain.
That's what she told me.
If it's teleporting us
Whether
out.
it would prove useful or not, I wanted to pass that information on to you.
She just raises so many questions, honestly.
The remains of the third descender? So that's what the Gnosis actually are. Paimon just thought they looked like chess pieces. How could they be a person's remains?
Are they all the remains of the one person, or is it a different descender per gnosis?
All the same, assuming that there was no misunderstanding or special metaphor at play, that is what she meant to say.
And she said that it would bring misfortune and that you should check it, which is why you gave it to the Fatui.
If she speaks the truth, then I would simply be putting Fontaine at unnecessary risk by keeping it here.
So you're saving Fontaine twofold by getting rid of it. A descender. She mentioned one of them. I am the fourth descender! One, and it means things to me. One, that the Gnosis are related to descenders, and two, ouch, that the one who came before me has already died.
I guessed that you might already be familiar with this concept, but I did not expect you to be one of them.
Is my brother the first or the second?
That means that the Gnosis, which are exceedingly element compatible and can even enhance elemental abilities, do indeed come from the third descender. I wonder, does your body also possess similar properties?
Are we about to test that?
Like being able to use elemental powers without a vision. That does sort of count as special compatibility, right? No, let's not think about this stuff right now. It just feels creepy.
But we're just getting into the good stuff.
Comparing the Traveler to the dead third descender and all.
Don't worry, I won't die so easily.
That's what you say, but this topic still feels like bad luck. Once Child recovers, let's get some more answers out of him. Or go look for his master and get the answers that way.
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind guesses when information is lacking. The same is true of being at court.
All right. Whatever the case, it seems like the crisis here in Fontaine's over for now.
Yes. All of Focalor's efforts were for this moment as well.
But she sacrificed herself in the end as a god, and she suffered through all those years as a human. Was that really what she wanted?
I suppose that would be the mystery of a god's will.
I know 4 others I can ask. Can you understand the will of the gods?
I suspect not. But once in a while, I too would guess that if wishes were like the clouds in the sky, they will one day return to the earth as raindrops. Life flows like water, and rain is the final answer. The water levels may sometimes tilt one way or another, but the rain falls fairly upon all. And what, ultimately, is the difference between the rains that fall upon all of us?
Quest completed. Masquerade of the Guilty. Okay. Hold on. We're just gonna have a... Where does one get that? Next Archon quest? I guess. So I'm just going to talk to him if I say anything.
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask.
I don't think you have any more.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I suggest that you fully prepare.
Yep, okay. Overall, I enjoyed the Archon quest because, you know, this is what we've been building up to. We've been trying to get to this calamity, this fulfilling of prophecy for so long now that it was good to finally get there. But I feel like it was rushed. I feel like the whole thing with Farina being on stage went on for way too long. I understand what they were trying to present to us, how she started off just trying to make it through day by day by day until every day started repeating the exact same manner. And, you know, 500 years later, the same cycle is completely repeating over and over and over again, and she just wants to be done with it. You know, and the case and trial that she's so eagerly waiting for is just not coming. And, like, it's nice to get the backstory, but they could have cut that down into half or less in size, so I wasn't falling asleep through that. I did not need it to be that long to represent Farina's character. So that could have been condensed, but then everything that came after it needed to have been longer and had more depth.
They are the pride of Fontaine. Be sure
I
to
get
befriend
that the whale just appeared,
Cause
and
them
that was
no harm.
fine, but I thought I kind of wanted more from Tartaglia when he appeared. It just bam, bam, bam. Oh, he's gone. Okay. Well, bye. I wanted some dialogue, some interaction. Hey, I'm fine. I'm here to save the day. Okay, obviously not, because that's cliched as shit. But, you know, something more than what we got. But it was still cool to see him in that form, so that was it. It was okay. But, yeah. Suddenly, the water's rising. It's like, Jesus Christ, since when was the prophecy immediately upon us? Like, hello? Can we slow down a little bit? And then everything's flooding, and then Risley's ship just comes out of nowhere, and it starts saving people, and it was great. But then 2 seconds later, the water went down. It's like, well, what was the point? It was so brief that there was floodwaters. They could have just tread water for like 5 minutes, and then the water went back down. I really think they should have showed a longer cutscene that showed the airship having a larger impact on saving people, rather than just saving people at the exact same location where the other boats were already saving the people. Like, it didn't do anything that the other boats couldn't do. So I would have liked to have not seen the other boats, or had his ship do something more epic. We could see it traveling around a space and gathering far more people, and seeing it have a greater impact time-wise on the survival of the people of Fontaine. Not just, it saved a handful of people, it doesn't matter anyway, the waters are gone. There should have been a much longer time span before the water receded, so that kind of really annoyed me. So not only have you diminished the airship, the flooding itself had no big impact because it didn't last very long. I would have had it last for days or something before it receded, to just give it that impact of, oh my god, it's all gone, and then you get it back. That'd be nice. So that just felt rushed as all hell as well.
I see the value in my own work, but
I'm
also see
pleased
the meaning in
that
all
we
the
finally
endeavors
have
of the
had
people of Fontaine.
the prophecy
I believe I
come
will
to
continue to
fruition.
take pride in
Yay,
fulfilling
I'm
my
glad for
duties.
that. But I just didn't get the emotional impact from it, because it was just over and done with so quickly. It didn't really give me a chance to feel horror, to feel concern for the people of Fontaine, because they were always safe. They could have just tread water and then everything was fine. So yeah, they really took the emotional impact out of that for me. The part that really hit me though was Focalor. Learning that she has to pay for the sins that weren't hers. Oh, that wrecked me. And then as she did her performance right before she was sentenced to death, that was very fitting, and it was very sad, and I cried a lot. It was the perfect ending for her. Yeah, and I look forward to us meeting Farida. Obviously, we're going to meet her in one of the updates. We have to meet her before we move on to Natlan. God, I don't know how we're supposed to pronounce it. Yeah, so I really did like how they killed her. I wish fulfilling the death sentence hadn't been so tangled up in the whale thing, because we kind of got the trial and then she was sentenced to death, but then there was the whale and we're just worried about that. But then we had to go save Farina, and then we went into these two different worlds, and then we went back to, you know, the flooding. I just wish we had stuck on one topic at a time. If we'd just stuck with her condemnation of death, then dealt with the whale, then dealt with the flooding. I didn't like the way that her situation was broken up across other plot points. It just felt a bit crowded plot-wise, when it really would have served a greater purpose if it had been more focused on her and that situation. So I wouldn't say it was my favorite part of the Archon quest. It actually, I think, was the weakest of the 4. That was Archon Quest 4, yeah? I think it was one of the weakest out of them. Just because there were flaws in it that affected the tension and the emotional engagement
are beautiful creatures.
of the story. So, yeah.
Be sure to befriend them.
Yeah.
And
Could have
cause
been
them no
better. I'm
harm.
left feeling a little disappointed, I'm not going to lie. After all this build up for the prophecy, and it was kind of turned out to be kind of lame. Yeah. A little disappointed. Hopefully, whatever remains of Fontaine, what's that patch? 4.3, 4.4, 4.5, 4.6, 4.7. Bring something that's a little more thrilling or engaging to make up for that deficit. So, yeah.
See the value in
I liked it.
homework.
It could have been better, but I guess I liked it. Friends the world over. Meet all sorts of people during your adventure. Can I get that achievement during every nation I go to? The stage of fate. Lay a trap with your companions that will allow you to judge a god. For a better tomorrow, people rebuild their home. Must go to the guilty. Now, sorry, I'm going to turn my volume back up now that Neverlet isn't talking in my ear. Still only enough for 1? Oh well, we got the other one for completing it as well, so we've got 2. Look, I'm not even really planning on getting her. It's not going to happen. We all know this. My luck is the worst in the world, quite frankly. So, whatevs.
I also see the meaning in all
Right.
the endeavors of the people of Fontaine. I
So,
will continue to take pride.
do we jump to this world quest, or do I check out the world first? Because I've got these points to do. I feel like if I'm going here, it will be to do that as well, but there's a lot of land down here, but I kind of want to, I kind of do want to start up here, so let's go here. And please don't auto start the quest. Whose quest is it? Is it hers? No. Is it the fountains? There are no markers. It's the plaque. Okay. And I thought I'd seen everything. Thanks. Time to climb the mountain. Oh, hello. Where are you, do you suppose? Easily obtainable? I mean, climbing is involved, but sure. Excuse me, I just gotta climb this tree. There we go. Got it. Okay, so there's a lot we have to see about this world. There's the Weeping Willow of the Lake. Is it the only tree? I thought there was another tree. Lumidus Harbour. God, there's such a gap between these worlds. Oops, there's such a gap still between here. Do we get this middle land at all, or will it forever just remain an empty hole? Where is Natlan, by the way? Natlan. I don't think I remember where Natlan is. Give me a sec. It looks like Natlan, whatever the fuck it's called, is here. Which is what I thought, but I wasn't 100% certain, so I don't know. It's not going to fit there, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, given this space is Fontaine in its current size, it could also get bigger. I just don't see Natlan Fawn. It's not going to fit. Because I don't think it goes all the way up here. This is meant to be greenery connecting the two spaces as far as I'm aware. So I don't know if it's going here or what. Because Snezhnaya is up here. It sucks that I literally can't scroll out any further. And we have to get a port city for Mondstadt at some point, but I don't know where it is. I always pictured it was over here somewhere, but maybe it's over here somewhere. I don't know. This just is not big for a nation. Especially considering, like, look how... I think we were spoiled by Sumerian and how big it is. You know, it's got all this massive section. So I guess we have high expectations of every section of the map being as big going forward. Anyway, I just got totally distracted. I really don't know what this harbor is leading to. I really don't. There are so many things to see and activate. Do I feel like doing them right the second time? You know, I really don't. I've spent like half a day. By half a day, I mean like 6 hours. Playing Genshin. So I might leave it there and then go for more of a journey later in the week. Maybe, unless I feel like it tomorrow, but I doubt it. I have other games to play. So, yeah, plenty of things to see and do, and I cannot wait to get started on the world quests. I love the world quests. At least in Fontaine. They got super better in Fontaine than they had been previously. So there's that. Whatever that is. Is that for the pink things? I don't know. It seems to be extra glowy. Oh, hush, would you? That's a dangerous zone over there. Actually, you can't see the... Oh, there it is. I was gonna say, you can't see the lighthouse from here. Yeah, you can. It's literally right there. I definitely want to know more about it. I want to know what this building is all about. Oh, hello. Where are you? Are you in the... You can't be in a waterfall. None of the rocks are breakable. So where are you? Ah. I see a problem. What does one do with you? You've got my Hydroculus captive.
Settle down.
Give me that. Was that actually correct? After being struck, it may open in a stress reaction. Ah, okay, so I could have done literally anything with anyone. Didn't have to be Hydro. Bro, please don't. Just don't. What the? What is that? There is so much to see and do here. Wow.